Hi everybody, my name is Kate Berry from the University of Texas at Austin, and today I'm going to talk to you about Pirate Math Equation Quest. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about Shipshape sorting. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but we'll get through it. Shipshape sorting. Shipshape sorting is the fourth activity in all three of our interventions. Individual intervention with total difference in change schema, small group intervention with total difference change in equal group schema, and small group intervention for Texas word problems for the STAR for grade 3. Every lesson in Pirate Math Equation Quest has 5 components: Math Fact flashcards, Equation Quest, Buccaneer problems, Shipshape sorting, and our Jolly Roger review. Today we're going to focus our attention on Shipshape sorting, which is the fourth component of our intervention. To begin with Shipshape sorting, you're going to need the following materials. You'll need a timer because Shipshape sorting is a 1-minute timed activity. You'll also need your Shipshape sorting mat, which I'm going to call the sorting mat. Students will need the What Do You Ask Yourself poster, and you'll also need your sorting cards, which are cards that display word problems. It's important to note that we use Shipshape sorting in both our individual intervention and our group intervention. The activity is the exact same for both individual intervention and group intervention, with the exception of the number of students. In the individual intervention, the tutor or teacher works with the student individually to answer flashcards. In the group intervention, the teacher or tutor works with a group of 4 students or fewer. When we have the group intervention, the teacher presents the first sorting card to the first student, the student answers the card, places it down, and then the teacher asks the second student the card. And then we follow and continue until we complete one set by following the students in a circle. We call this method a round robin. The round robin ensures that every student is provided an equal opportunity to answer each of the sorting card questions. So here's an example of a Shipshape sorting mat that you'll need and an example card. To start the Shipshape sorting activity, the teacher needs to set the timer for 1 minute because this is a 1-minute timed activity. The teacher also needs to display the sorting mat before this activity. Notice on the sorting mat that there are 4 different boxes. The T is the box for total, the D is a box for difference, the C is a box for change, and the question mark is the box for the question, if a student doesn't know the answer. So in Shipshape sorting, the teacher will set the timer for 1 minute, and the teacher is going to remind students that this is a sorting activity. Students are going to sort the cards into a total, difference, change, or question mark box. It's important for the teacher to remind students to not answer the word problems, but to simply sort the word problems. So after the teacher starts the timer, the student or students, depending on whether it's an individual or group intervention, will start the activity with 1 flashcard up at a time. The teacher will present this first sorting card to the first student. The student will place the sorting card in the total, difference, change, or question mark box. If the sorting card is a total problem, the student should put the card in the total box. If the sorting card is a difference problem, the student should put the card in the difference box. If the student believes that the card is showing a change problem, the student should put the card in the change box. If a student does not know the answer or is confused about which schema the sorting card shows, the student can put the card in the question mark box. You'll notice that equal groups are not a schema that is displayed in this activity. We only include the additive schemas in Shipshape sorting, but teachers are encouraged to create and develop their own Shipshape sorting equal groups cards. So here, after the first student answers the card and places it in the box, the teacher will then present the next card to the student if it's an individual intervention, and the teacher will then present the card to the second student if they're working in a round robin as within the group intervention. So here on the next few slides, I'm just going to show you some examples of a total, schema card, a different schema card, and a change schema card so that you can get the idea. But basically, they continue in this pattern for 1 minute, and at the end of 1 minute, the teacher stops the timer. It's really important that the teacher takes a minute to review a few of these sorting cards. Sometimes students will guess and place a sorting card in one of the boxes without really thinking or reasoning as to why they're putting the sorting card in a specific box. This is where affirmative and corrective feedback come in. At the end of 1 minute, it's really important for the teacher to ask the students questions. For example, how did you know that was a total problem? Was the total missing? Were one of the parts missing? If it was a difference problem, how did you know that was a difference problem? What's the amount that's greater? What's the amount that's less? Can you tell me about the compare word? And for a change problem, how did you know that was a change problem? Is it a change increase or a change decrease, and why? These are some of the questions that it's important for teachers to ask at the end of the 1 minute timing. Another thing I'd like to point out before showing you examples of total, difference, and change cards is that the answers are on the back of each of these sorting cards. So on the back of this card, on every card, there is a letter. It'll be T, D, or C, depending on whether the card represents a total problem, difference problem, or change problem. So when the teacher is doing this activity, it's really important for the teacher to make sure that the students cannot see the answers on the back of the cards. Now let's take a look at an example total problem. Here, this says 3 adults and 3 children are riding on the bus. How many people are on the bus together? Here we have adults and children, and we're putting them together. So the student would place this card in the total box. Let's look at a difference example. This card says, Jason saw 6 monkeys and 2 tigers at the zoo. How many more monkeys did Jason see than tigers? And on this card, we're comparing monkeys to tigers, and we're comparing those two amounts to find the difference. Here, this would be an example of a difference sorting card, so the student should place the card on the box with the D. Lastly, we have an example of a change sorting card. Here, our card says, Bailey scored 3 goals at her soccer game. She then scored 2 more goals. How many goals has Bailey scored now? Here we have a start amount, which is the 3 goals that Bailey scored. And here, there's a change that happens. She scores more goals. Her amount is increasing. So this would be an example of a change problem. Again, if a student doesn't know the answer, he or she can always put the card in the question mark box. Now that we've reviewed the steps for Shipshape sorting, let's take a moment to look at Shipshape sorting in action. In this video, you will see an example of Shipshape sorting in our individual intervention, that is, with one student working with one teacher. As you go through this video, I want you to think about the fact that the teacher is setting the timer for 1 minute. The teacher has prepared the materials by putting out the sorting cards and the sorting mat, and the teacher asks the questions by reading the word problems one at a time to the student. The teacher also asks questions at the end of the 1 minute timing to ensure that the student understood the content.
Alright, so let's get to our Shipshape sorting activity. I'm going to read word problems to you. Each card has a different word problem, and your job is to name the problem type. We've been learning about total problems, difference problems, and change problems. So you're going to use the T, the D, the C, and the question mark. If you think it's a total problem, you're going to put in the T. If you think it's a difference problem, you're going to put in the D. If you think it's a change problem, you're going to put in the C. If you don't know, don't worry, you can put in the question mark and we can go over it together. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Alright, you're going to have a minute to name as many problems as you can. Ready? And go. Jessica won $3 at the fair. Peter won $7. How much less money did Jessica win than Peter? Dion took 5 pictures of his family and 2 pictures of his friends. How many pictures did he take in all? Hannah has 8 baby rabbits and kittens. She has 2 baby rabbits. How many baby kittens does she have? Alan collected some seashells at the beach. Then he lost 2 of them. Now he only has 7 seashells left. How many seashells did he have to begin with? Nicholas picked some apples off a tree. He gave 2 of the apples to his family. Now he has 4 apples. How many apples did he pick off the tree? Aunt and Elise. Alright. Good job, Esther. Alright, let's check. So you said this was a total problem. Why is that a total problem?
Because, I said it was a total problem.
What is this problem doing?
It's asking him how many pictures did he take it of.
Good job. So
So-
you're putting
We're putting the pictures together.
the pictures together. Good job. You have pictures of his family, pictures of his friends. You're putting that into a total. Good job. Alright. Let's see. You said this was a difference problem. Why is that a difference problem?
Because we're comparing how much money Jessica won and how much money Peter won.
Good job. This is a difference problem. What's our compare word here?
Peter one is less.
Good job. So if Jessica spent less money, is Jessica our big amount or a small amount?
A small amount.
Good job.
And Peter's a big amount.
Good job. And just real quick, do we know the difference here?
No, because there's not a number in front of our compare word.
Good job, Freya. And let's check one more. You said that was a change problem. Why is that a change problem?
Because it's saying that he got some apples and he gave some to his friends.
Good job. So it's a change what?
Decrease.
Good job. You showed me right. Good job. Decrease. Remember, if it's going down, decrease. All right. Let's see how many you answered correctly. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. You answered 4 cards correctly. Nice.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video on Shipshape Sorting, which is the 4th component of our Pirate Math Equation Quest intervention. I'd like to take a moment to thank IES, the University of Texas at Austin, and the Meadows Center for Preventing Educational Risk. Without their support, this video and this research would not be possible. Thanks for watching.